everyone, welcome to Spark Igniting Minds. Today we are privileged to host Mrs. Prabha Krishna, a trailblazer in the field of yoga therapy and holistic wellness. As a director, senior yoga therapist and lifestyle consultant at Yogabharati Foundation, she has been transforming lives through her innovative and compassionate approach to health and healing. With over 22 years of experience, she specializes in managing complex conditions such as disc herniation, pelvic instability, and pregnancy-related issues, blending her deep knowledge of anatomy with the Iyengar yoga style and VYASA's holistic teachings. A certified trainer, Prabha is dedicated to mentoring aspiring yoga trainers and advancing yoga education globally. Her academic background in pharmacy and expertise in holistic nutrition and traditional Chinese medicine enable her to continue scientific precision with ancient wellness practices. Beyond her therapeutic work, she inspires communities as a mythology storyteller, a laughter yoga teacher, and a compassionate guide for children with special needs. Through her leadership, Prabha has elevated Yogabharati Foundation's India chapter, creating a committed team aligned with the vision of fostering holistic well-being. Her dedication to empowering individuals and building healthier communities is truly remarkable. Please join me in welcoming Mrs. Prabha Krishna to Spark Igniting Minds. Hari Om Prabha.
Hari Om.
It's a great pleasure to welcome you to Spark Igniting Minds, our YouTube channel. And you have been a very dedicated yoga professional, and you have been the director of Yogabharati 2 non-profit organization, and you have inspired many lives, I can say. And I'm so excited today to know about your insights, your visions, your plans, your experiences, and let us deep delve into the yoga therapy today.
Sure, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm very humbled to be in this platform. I'm all ready to have a beautiful interaction with you.
Thank you so much. And let us begin with your journey as a yoga therapist. How did you step into this field? And what are your understanding about yoga? And can you elaborate on yoga, please?
Sure, it's a very interesting story of how I came into this path of yoga. I did my pharmacy. Actually, I'm a B.Pharm and I've done my M.Pharm in pharmaceutical chemistry. And I got married. And till that time, yoga was just as a camp during my childhood time. My mother had put me into a yoga camp, and I learned some Surya Namaskars, and that was like a playtime,
Okay.
So it was nothing big about it, and I have seen my grandfather doing all the very complicated postures, and I used to be in awe of him. Later, after I got married, my husband, we both went to US, and he was settled in San Jose area. And this is where Yogabharati US chapter had begun at that time. It was only about 1 year old. And he was a volunteer in that group. And since there were so many Indians, he said, why don't you join in? And I just joined just for the sake of mingling with people, and I thought, okay, that's it. So they're going to talk something about yoga, that's all. And that is where there was a...
This is how many years back?
Exactly 22 years ago.
So you have a vast 22 years.
Yeah,
so you have a very vast experience, Prabha. I can say 22 years is not a small thing. And
I would not say 22 years. I would say actually, see, in the first beginning times of the years, it is just the understanding of yoga was only about the physical side.
Right.
I would actually admit that, because for me it was just a way of being fit in US, and then being with like-minded people, and the yoga community was all very jovial and very non-judgmental, and it felt very good. And that is where I met my guru Raghuramji, and he was giving a couple of lectures on a very interesting topic called Raja Yoga. And as usual, as a curious person, I just sat in the last row, thinking that I can step out anytime. And I was glued to the spot for 2 hours of that session, and it happened for a week continuously. And post those sessions is where transformation began within me, because I had enrolled for a master's in pharmacy there. But I took a choice that I don't want pharmacy. I think this is my calling. Because there was always a void in me, thinking that I'm in pharmacy, I'm in all this pharmaceutical chemistry with the drugs and the side effects and all those things, but still there was some dissatisfaction that is it the right path I'm going. And I think I was looking for an excuse to come out of it, because somewhere the session of yoga completely appealed to me, and I suddenly felt this is what I need to do. And thanks to the support of my husband and my parents and the whole family of my husband's side, they were willing to agree with whatever I wanted to do. And that's where I joined the yoga teacher training course, which was organized by Yogabharati. And both of us joined it, and that's where the journey of yoga began. But if I want to say, these 22 years, the first few years was all about knowing the postures and how to teach and how to give instructions and how to enhance my poses and all that. And then I entered into yoga therapy. The therapeutic yoga was something which I was very interested, because actually from childhood I wanted to be a doctor. There's something to heal people of their pain and suffering is what had pulled me to yoga.
You must have taken up pharma also.
Yes, absolutely. And had pulled me to this yoga aspect also, because I had joined as an assistant teacher to my senior teacher to a therapy for back pain by yoga management. And as a curious teacher myself, because I was only a yoga teacher at that time, I joined thinking of assisting him, and I saw people coming with disc prolapse, herniation and frozen shoulders and severe sciatica and everything, and I was thinking, why are they coming here? They need to go to a doctor. Why are they sitting and suffering? I was thinking of telling some my medicines to them. And in that whole 1 month of the therapeutic yoga course, I saw the transformation within them. They came with severe pain, crying intensely, and after 1 month they just came and hugged the teacher and said, thank you so much, I can walk to my car, I can drive. I saw all that, and that inspired me and said that yes, this is what I want. And then it's when the journey began. And the journey, I would say, yoga journey began with not only interacting with others, it began with me actually. If I want to say what is yoga with your second question, yoga is all about connecting with ourselves, where we hear so many people talking about it. But I would say with experiences that yes, it helped me to connect with myself, because I have seen the transformation
beyond postures.
Absolutely. Yes. It is beyond.
It's a connection between body, mind,
intellect. It is a beautiful sync. It's an alignment actually. And I could see the transformation coming with me. Actually, you would not believe that I was an absolute introvert during my school days. I will never voice out, or I'll stutter when I speak in front. And through these years, the confidence to give instruction, confidence to address people, inspire people, and I've been, people tell me I'm an inspirational leader, I'm a motivational person, and I would say that I would give full credit to yoga. So, because the yoga is
that appears in your personality
itself. It has shaped me completely, and it has helped me to grow. We always, it's important for yoga teachers to remember that when we are giving a class to someone, it's not like I'm in a higher pedestal and saying that I am giving a class to you. It's like we both are learning together. We both are healing together. So even if I am giving an instruction to tell someone that sit still, sit and observe your breath, it is actually a lesson to me to pause and observe my breath. So everywhere there is a co-learning together. And we know who is a great master there. So the master is teaching us beautiful lessons. And that is
a wonderful philosophy, I think, say that you have adapted in your teaching. saying that I'm also learning with my students. That is really wonderful. And for every person who is an expert, there will be somebody behind, okay, like your mentors. Okay, you said Raghuramji were totally inspired by his first class itself. Now you have Nagarathna also. So how did these two influence you in your therapeutic yoga?
It's such a beautiful destiny, I would say, that when the student is ready, the master arrives. That's what they say always.
Okay.
I think I was ready at that time to meet him. I think it was absolute destiny that blessing and grace of the divine that I had met him at that time, because I was in that junction of life where I had enrolled for a pharmacy and I was keen to go and pursue my pharmacy and to the pharmaceutical company and all those things, and still unhappy.
Okay.
Still I found that there is a void, and I said, okay, I'm supposed to do it because this is what I have studied. And let me keep
Pharma is always medicine.
Yeah.
And you have come out of that and you have really embraced something very bigger than that.
Yeah, and I excelled in that field actually, and I thought I will be a good pharmacist and all those things. But when Raghuramji came, what something which attracted to me towards him, or what pulled me like a magnet towards him, is his way of speaking very complicated subjects in a very lucid manner.
Okay.
And for me, anything in a lucid manner appeals to me actually.
Right.
If somebody goes to intellectual and goes very logical way of explaining things, my mind just shuts off. And his sessions were like that. And all these 22 years, I have been in constant touch with him, and I would say that he has played such a huge role, because how he lives is an inspiration for me. Not only what he speaks, how he lives, how he interacts. Yes, he interacts. I observe him interacting. I observe him giving some counseling sessions to some people, his talks and all that.
Okay.
And Dr. Nagarathna ji is, I would say, she is the pioneer in yoga therapy.
Okay.
So anything regarding yoga therapy, it's where we ask her. So I would say all our therapy lessons in yoga is all from her. And again, she also walks the talk. Absolutely humble. My God, the humility just is there with the couple. The both are.
She is also in the therapeutic yoga.
She is the pioneer in yoga therapy. She is the medical
Okay.
director of VYASA University in Jigini actually. So she is the person who has done so many things. Dr. Nagendra, Dr. Nagarathna ji and Raghuramji, they all were the founders of VYASA University.
So you have been teaching yoga for many years, and you have told that therapies for various issues, like maybe a pelvic dysfunction, or as you say, herniatic. What is that?
Herniation.
Herniation, and also in pregnancies. So how does yoga therapy, or what principles do you adopt to cure these kind of issues?
See, for any kind of a healing, we are not looking only at that particular symptom. For example, you say you are having a headache. I'm not going to be giving you a paracetamol tablet to just relieve the headache. Here we need to find the root cause. The root cause of a health condition. Any health condition comes from a root cause. And yoga therapy, the therapeutic aspects of yoga actually goes into the root cause. It is not only alleviating the symptoms of the disease, symptoms of the ailment or the pain we have. It is actually, it starts from the root cause. That is where the holistic healing happens. What is meant by the holistic therapy is, it looks as a person as a whole. Like as a whole means we consider that you have a body level, you have a body sheath, you have the pranic sheath, then the energy sheath, and you have the mind layer and the emotional layer, and then finally of course the absolute blissful and the joyful state which is there in us. The thing is, the joyful nature is there. If we are in touch with the joyful nature, none of the health conditions will arise. So the main, the crust of the yoga therapy is to again come back to our home. What is our home? To find the joy within. And when we are moving away from the periphery, moving away to the periphery, then these health conditions arise, whether it is autoimmune disorder or disc herniation or a frozen shoulder or a headache or menstruation issues or eye issues, so many. Everything has a deep thought pattern, has a deep emotional block pattern. And when we address that in the deeper way, then the healing happens as a complete way.
So
it is not like I
not through postures.
Yes.
You can also, breathing, practicing mindfulness, all that must be.
Absolutely. The whole, it comes as I would say like a package, if you want to say. It's a combo, if you want to say in a modern way of speaking. It's not like when you are coming with need for a health issue, for example, you have got osteoarthritis and you're coming with the knee issues. So I'm not saying that only do this practice. It is not only physical oriented. We will have pranayama practices, we will have breath, body work practices, we will be ensuring that there is counseling. So maybe when there is any joint issue, that means there is some deep guilt or resentment, or there is some deep thought pattern where we are stuck. So the counseling session helps in releasing that.
So the pains are associated with our guilt also.
Absolutely, the guilt, resentment, anger, suppressed anger, unworthy enough. The way we are interacting, many times women also feel they are unworthy and not good enough. And when it continuously goes into the head, it brings about a lot of menstruation issues. It brings about abdominal health conditions. People who are suppressing their emotions, they come about with indigestion issues. We have excessive rage or anger towards someone. Maybe they would have done something in their life and they have that anger to that person and they're suppressing it somewhere. There is so much of anger within, it brings halsa. Autoimmune disorder, there is no joy in the life. You're not able to see joy everywhere. Everywhere there is, you see unhappiness, because unhappiness has come there. It has clouded your inner nature.
The way of living is, you will always improve the way of living along with the therapeutic issues and for some specific.
Yes, the quality of living and everything is beautifully worked upon, integrated. So it is not only the physical postures and say that okay, do Vrikshasana, okay, do Sashankasana, do Setubandhasana. We are not only saying that, because that is what is not yoga therapy all about. Yoga therapy is deep healing, integrated holistic healing, where we heal the whole person and make them again come home.
So you affect the lives, you transform the individual.
Actually, it is a beautiful transformation. I have seen people blossoming very beautifully actually. So what we are saying with this Namaskara itself is like a beautiful lotus bud. So it's like a blossoming happening. And the blossoming happening, and then when the blossom happens, they find joy within. They are not looking for happiness somewhere else, not looking for validation. The moment self-validation comes, their health issues become better. This moment they feel content with themselves, BP reduces. The moment they find that they are grounded more, their sciatica reduces. Because sciatica is all about ungroundedness. There is a sense of insecurity. The moment they feel secure with themselves, being trusting the universe, they find that they are more, the healing happens. And the healing here is permanent. It's not like I give you a medicine, I say that please do 101, 30 days. 30 days you continuously have medicine and tell me, Prabha, nowadays no headache only, Prabha. Nowadays no joint pain.
It may recur also.
So joint pain will not happen. You've been given a nerve relaxant. You've been given a nerve repletion medicine. So obviously joint pain will happen. Now the doctor will say stop the medication. After 15 days, again the pain will sprout. So that is not a permanent management of health conditions. It is an SOS. We need to have it. Allopathy is required. Absolutely, I will not say no to allopathy. People have an aversion many times. I've seen that, those who are in the yogic path, they have an aversion towards allopathic medication. No, I will not touch allopathic. No, you need to take the medical diagnosis. You need to go to the doctor, take the screening tests, take the SOS medications if you are having some health condition. But do not think that is one and all.
But for happy living and driving away all your negative thoughts, yoga is...
yes, absolutely. Yoga, that is, even in postures, we are not thinking that let me become better and better. It is about being in the pose with, very beautifully Dr. Nagarathna says, Ananta Samampati. That is totally you are at peace with yourself. There is a beautiful another word called Prayatna Shaitilya. That is, you are doing the posture effortlessly. There is no effort that, I have to put my arm and hold it and tighten it, expand, put this thing and let me take a
very
picture of that.
natural way.
Yes, it is a very Rajasic view of the postures.
Okay.
We have to remember that it is not for the Rajasic way of, that is the, it is not for validation that see how wonderful you are doing.
Into sattvic.
Yes, we are moving more towards the home, that is inner divine. We are in the posture, you are totally at peace. Even your fingers are not twisting, even if you can't twist completely, even if your head is not reaching the knee, it is not a big thing at all.
Okay.
Many times people get stuck in those areas. So that is where the alignment comes.
Okay. So could you walk through specific yoga postures that you recommend for managing, especially backache, lower backache, or the sacral issues?
The sacroiliac dysfunction, many people have that because of the wrong lifestyle kind of living actually, because many times we see in the urban life people sit for a long time, so their postures are all rounded and they don't take rest, and after that they get up and then this again go back and slouch in the TV, right? So this is where, and nowadays what has happened, yes, running has become a very big thing actually. So but I would always recommend it that if you are suddenly interested in running, or suddenly you say that I would like to do cycling or strength training or any other sports, or suddenly people go to a badminton and come back to me, Prabha, after 20 years I went to badminton, now I can't move my shoulders. So why all this happens? Mainly happens because you have not taken the time to strengthen the system. The skeletal-muscular system need to be strengthened with slow and gradual practices. Then you want to say, I want to pursue my tennis, I want to pursue my badminton or running or whatever, it beautifully flows. So yoga is all about understanding that okay, let me strengthen all my systems. The system is not only my skeletal system or endocrine system or nervous system, but the whole mental strength and the physical strength also. That is the difference between yoga practices and any other practice.
Any other strengthening exercise just strengthens your body.
Yes, and I would say you combine those learnings when you're doing a strength training. I also do strength training, but very nicely what we can use the yogic concepts in strength training. That is being aware, even if you're doing the bicep curls or you're doing the lunges or whatever in your strength training class. I'm not saying don't do strength training. It's very, very important for people. Use the yogic concepts, say be aware. Why don't you be aware of the breath? Why don't you do it slow and steadily? Give a pause after every practice. So then you are incorporating the yogic concepts, whether it's swimming or you're in your strength training or in your running. I've heard runners saying how they feel so wonderful with themselves when they are running. They feel at peace. It's like a meditative experience for them. Their breath and then the nature, and they are running.
When they are running, the breath is under control.
Beautiful flow. It is a flow there. I have seen my husband telling me that it's a flow, Prabha, he says. It's a meditative flow. And that is what
as you are amidst nature also.
Absolutely.
That adds to your...
and yoga is what it's all about. You are in touch with yourself. It's not necessary I have to sit and be in Padmasana and sit there. I can do cooking. I can use yogic concepts. I can be at peace. I can relax. I can enjoy and then do the cooking. Everywhere the divine love flows, and that is what yoga is all about. I think that is where healing happens. Any kind of healing. So if you want to say, if you're coming back to the question of what postures are there, see, the spine is very, very important for all of us. So, and
the spine should be always erect.
The spine is erect. It has its natural curves. It's very important to respect those natural curves. But it's also important for us to ensure that the spinal muscles are beautifully worked upon. And we are also observing the way our shoes are made. How are we walking around in shoes? What kind of postures we are doing? Are we sitting cross-legged all the time? So when you're crossing the leg almost a few hours in a day, it's a strain for the lower back. People get into sacroiliac dysfunction. They say we have so many dysfunctions happening in the back. That's why posture correction is very, very important. Whether people who drive also for long journeys, they need to ensure that they have the necessary props in their driving seat, whether they are sitting the necessary props. And the yoga postures will slowly strengthen those muscles, slowly ensure that there is deep relaxation. Any problems?
Slowly it adds poise and grace to the individual.
Yeah, it does happen because always the stress is what brings about a health condition. So stress is internal. People say it is because of my boss, because of this, because of that, but it affects us internally. So that internal stress is bringing about maybe a disc herniation for me maybe. So that I need to ensure that I need to do the postures with breath body alignment, slow and steady, and also I need to understand that it will take its time. It is not a fortnight therapy. Say that because people are used to allopathic treatment. Within a fortnight, pain goes. You go with a severe nerve pain, the doctor might give you a Nucoxia or a Pregabalin, which is completely numbing the pain, and within 1 week you'll say, I am completely fine. But the pain is being already numb. Yes. So what does yoga therapy do? It helps you beautifully to slow and steadily work on those muscles, slow and steadily in a deep state of relaxation. So your meditation technique, your deep relaxation techniques are very important. There are specific relaxation techniques which helps in deep healing, yoga nidra practices, pranayama practices, mudra practices, and then the postures. So it is not only postures. So everything is a combo. And counseling is important even in counseling also. So everything comes together integrated. Then they will see within 90 days, it's a big improvement in a person with slip disc bulge, nerve impingement, frozen shoulder. I'm talking about the skeletal-muscular problems, autoimmune disorders. Suddenly someone is coming with mouth ulcers. Everywhere you will find a huge improvement.
Even for mouth ulcers.
Oh yeah, mouth ulcers, yes. It's rage built-in. You're not wanting to speak, but you're swallowing the rage.
When you were talking about breath, something I'm very curious to know. That if you slow down your breath, your lifespan increases. Is it true?
That we see many people, in instances we see in people writing about the tortoise, right? The tortoise breathes slowly, so its lifespan is more. So see, it's written in the yogic text very beautifully in Hatha Yoga Pradipika and Geranda Samhita, all the very beautiful yogic texts, that the more we are slowing down the breath, the more we are kind of relaxing the system, and the more the system is relaxed and activated at the right time, the lifespan is better, the person will not have any health conditions. It is written very beautifully in the yoga text. So basically
that is all about meditation. No?
Meditation is all about slowing down the breath. That is one part of meditation. So a person can start a meditation with just observation of breath. See, meditation, like I keep telling people also, is not just sitting and being in Padmasana and adopting and saying, chanting Om. That is maybe
observing your breath.
Yeah, it is again depends on personalities. So there are so many different kinds of meditation for personalities of the people. A person could be very dynamic oriented. For that kind of a person, maybe just sitting there and observing will be a torture. It cannot happen at all. So maybe that person, we teach them cyclic meditation. It's a dynamic kind of meditation where they have the postures with deep awareness, like that. So for some people, visualization meditation, because they're so imaginative in nature, for them visualization meditation works well. For some who love observing their breath, so in the beginning we say that even the pranayama can be considered as a meditation practice. So where we are having the dharana, that concentration on the breath, and continuously concentration on the breath, the person is at peace. Meditation is all about being in connected with ourselves. That is coined by Swami Vivekananda, to meditate. Dharana. He could not say what is the English translation of dharana. So one day when he was giving his lecture, so he decided that to meditate, to heal, to connect within. So anything that connects us within, it's a beautiful meditative practice. So
we all hear about meditation, dhyana, then we don't know exactly how to do it, because so many thoughts cross our minds. And what is dhyana? To be away from the thoughts, or to be open to all the thoughts? We really don't know. So you have really explained everything about, and you have given a lot of insights about meditation.
I like the word you say, to open to all the thoughts. That is a very beautiful one actually.
Yeah.
Because many times there are a lot of shoulds in people, that I should concentrate when I'm sitting and meditating, and they get very upset because mind's nature is a monkey. It's like a monkey.
Monkey mind.
It will run. The person sitting there, some sudden day say, oh, did I off the cooker or on the cooker? Should I cook the dal today night or sambar today night? Mind runs like that. So how are we doing it? We are actually trying to rein the mind. And the reining the mind is all about yoga. Your yoga postures is all about that. The whole instruction by the teacher, the student is constantly listening to the teacher, being in touch with their breath, their postures, their awareness on the chest, the back, is where you're training the mind. You're slowly reining the mind, harnessing the mind. That harnessing
Getting that mind under your control.
It's like you have a puppy. Can you ask the puppy to remain quiet?
No.
Your mind is like a puppy. So, but you slowly, you give a bone to the puppy. The puppy is engaged, totally engaged. That is what we are doing in yoga. All the physical postures is engaging the mind. At that time, no thought will come. Oh, my boss told me this. The thought will not come at all. That 1 hour of practice, actually, you are giving a training to the mind. So it is like a mind muscle training. Although we cannot say muscle of the mind, but beautiful, very beautiful, great masters, they say that it is actually, mind is like a muscle which needs training. And what we are doing all those things, and we are open. It is like the thoughts come. We allow it to flow. Thoughts come. Don't be in that, oh, again thoughts came. See, I can't meditate at all. These are the self-deprecating thoughts we have. We are open to it. We know that this is what my mind is. I allow
And
it to come.
slowly the thoughts go away.
Absolutely, it will disappear. It will just dissolve. And it might be that dissolving thing will be only maybe for 2 minutes or 1 minute. Be happy with that. Don't think, don't have reference points. People have group discussions that I meditate for 2 hours. How many hours do you meditate? I can sit quiet for
all this is not for discussion, I think. It is for our own selves.
It is your
and to enjoy.
Yes, even with the 2 seconds of bliss you have felt, that is beautiful. You are in touch with that silence. That's what it is matter. It is not about validation.
And also I wanted to ask you, what is Yoga Nidra? What is Shavasana? Is there any relation between those two? What is the state of mind then? Is there any difference?
Yes. Yoga Nidra, very beautifully, it comes in the yogic text also. Swami Shivananda Saraswati has written very beautiful discussion about Yoga Nidra, and he is our teacher. We have learned the Yoga Nidra methods from this thing. What is Yoga Nidra? We all know. It's sleep. But when we are in sleep, we are not conscious. So at that time, somebody comes a fantastic plate of rasgulla. We are not going to get up and respond to also. Even our favorite channel is movie channel is coming. We are not going to be seeing. We are totally not conscious. So a good night's sleep, yes, it brings about lot of deep rest to the system. It brings about healing. Yoga Nidra, why is that yoga added in the Nidra? It is a conscious sleep. That is the beautiful English translation to say. So where the person, although they are lying down, they are aware of themselves, they are aware of the body consciousness, they are aware of the breath, they are aware of the instructions given by the master, that how there is my finger is relaxing, my toes are relaxing, my eyes.
Is it a kind of hypnosis?
Not at all. It's very different in hypnosis. Hypnosis is somewhere, there is a beautiful chapter on that, very beautifully Swami Shivananda writes about that. That do not think that it is somebody is hypnotizing you to some kind of a journey and trying to, it is yourself for this thing. Nobody can take you to something. Even if I give instructions in a class, in a Yoga Nidra, maybe the theme was a beach or an ocean thing. If I say visualize the ocean, somebody will visualize maybe an ocean, somebody will visualize a lake, somebody will visualize there.
And so ocean in different forms they can visualize.
So it is a
only the waves you can visualize, or the vast ocean, or the horizon.
Yes.
There are different ways.
And the intention of that is, it starts with the sankalpa, a resolution that what is the purpose of this Yoga Nidra? To help me to connect with myself. That sankalpa is given in the beginning of a Yoga Nidra, and the instructor beautifully takes the journey of deep relaxation, and then the visualization starts with different kinds of themes where it brings about deep healing. And And that is where, and it is also, studies have also shown that yoga nidra of 40 minutes or whatever is considered to be 5.5 to 6 hours of sleep. Our Prime Minister ji also, Modi ji is a great proponent of yoga. His guru is Dr. Nagendra ji. VYASA student teacher only is actually Modi ji's teacher, yoga teacher. He is having such a tight schedule. So what I have heard from Nagendra ji is, he doesn't have time to sleep.
He can't sleep for 6 to 8 hours.
So the teacher conducts yoga nidra sessions.
And this is for how long?
Yoga nidra will
for
be
6
40
to 8
minutes.
hours.
It is equivalent to about 5 hours to 6 hours of sleep for a person. That is where somebody comes to us saying that I am having insomnia issues. We say that why don't you practice yoga nidra every day? They continuously practice, some deep healing happens, deep sense of relaxation, agitation goes, that they are able to, the toxins in the mind, deepest layer is removed, and slowly they find themselves at peace. And
so
they come back.
to do yoga nidra, you can't do it yourself. You should have a person who keeps it on.
It would be good to have instructions. Even if I want to personally do yoga nidra, I would. It is for me also. I've heard my colleagues also saying it is good to hear instructions. So I do hear my colleagues' instructions and do a yoga nidra for myself, because it is needed. That otherwise, like I told you, mind is a monkey mind.
Yeah.
Mind goes off. You zone off, and then maybe you fall asleep also. So yoga nidra, the instructions are very beautifully given. It reaches your subconscious mind. It is not your superficial mind which is reaching. It reaches your subconscious mind and brings deep healing there.
And always they say that subconscious and conscious should unite. Then only we can do anything better.
There is a beautiful union of that. There is a beautiful integration, alignment. What do we say? Keep saying alignment. Alignment is alignment of the mind with the body level. Alignment of the mind with the deeper, the presence of the divine there. Everywhere the mind is aligned.
So even in the Iyengar yoga, what we say, it is all about alignment. It is all about precision. So how do you integrate that kind of a yoga into
actually
your therapeutic yoga?
My Iyengar teacher is Mrs. Shobha Jaltare. I've been under her guidance for some years now. And what I really love about the Iyengar style of yoga is use of props. They beautifully incorporate the bolsters and all the ropes and everything. And I really like the way she gives sessions, because she integrates the yogic philosophy in the classes. So whether it is a chest expansion or a forward bend or an inversion, there she again and again brings importance to the breath, brings importance to the alignment. Not only the muscular alignment, which is very important for us. If I'm doing the posture wrong, it is going to affect me also. I need to ensure that my back is aligned correctly, my feet is aligned correctly, everything that makes a big role. But we are not only focused on that. We need to go beyond that. So the Iyengar yoga, what I would recommend all the teachers of Iyengar yoga is to not only focus on only the muscular alignment. Go more deeper. That's what my teacher does. She goes more deeper. First she will give instructions in the muscular alignment, and then she goes deeper into the awareness, into the breath, into the beautiful integration, and we remain in the pose totally at peace for 2 to 3 minutes. It is beautiful.
And they're all very, very complicated. If we see, we feel it's very complicated. Especially Iyengar yoga, what I have seen. Iyengar himself I have seen on the TV live. And even his muscles are also so muscular.
That's right. When we continuously do, no. See, I would not say that I like doing only simple postures. A kind of an adrenaline rush comes when you are doing the postures, and suddenly your teacher says, "Come, let's do this new posture." And like a child, you want to follow the teacher because you totally trust the teacher.
Right.
And you know that the teacher has decided that you are ready for the next level of the posture. So it is again needs to be guided by the teacher. Just because I see from the internet and suddenly I say that let me put my head somewhere here and leg somewhere there, we are going to hurt ourselves. That's why we need a proper guide. The teacher will know when you are ready to do the beautiful posture. postures, and don't get carried away with only the different complicated postures. Finally, are you integrating your body and mind? And finally, are you doing it to validate for others, or are you doing it for yourself? That is very important. It's just because one day I am able to do Shirshasana after a long time of trying, I feel good about myself because inversion helps me to look at the world in a different perspective. So if I try to understand the deeper aspects of those poses, I'm not going to be carried away with the various postures. I'm actually going to be carried with the deeper aspects of those postures. What is a deeper? A forward bend helps me to be more humble, helps me to gain that quality of humility, helps me to ensure to release my pride. My pride is no longer there. My ego is which makes me runs the world and wants to be seen, right? The back bend is the chest expansion, allowing my heart to open, allowing the compassionate nature to happen, allowing to bend back for others, they say, right? Right? It's you need to have that loving, compassionate nature to bend back. An inversion, complete inversion yourself, as Shirshasana is one of the greatest example. It's not like how
see the world.
You look at things in a different perspective.
way.
It's because everything I interact with the world is because of my projections. The moment I invert myself, I actually look at things in a different perspective. I look at people in a different way. I twist. What are the twisting postures? I'm able to have the flexibility in myself. There are so many shoulds in me. So the moment I go with that, then it is not about the Iyengar postures. I will be enjoying the postures and saying that I'm not putting a target there. That should not be the target. Oh, I have to come where my forehead is touching the knee. Somewhere it has to touch. People get carried away with those aspects and then they are so dissatisfied. There, when you say that, okay, when I'm forwarding, yes, okay, I'm growing, I'm taking my time to become flexible. What is happening deep? If we are carried with that, then whether it is Iyengar yoga or whether it is the VYASA style or the Bihar school of yoga style or the Shivananda school of yoga, every school of yoga, there are different types of Surya Namaskars itself. Don't get carried away with that. With Surya Namaskar, what are you doing? You're paying your obeisance, respect to the Surya Namaskar. That's it. Visualize that divine energy of the sun bathing you. Don't get carried away with, oh, you are doing 10 poses, I am doing 12 poses. Oh, you are doing this also pose, I am doing that also pose. That should not be the discussion here. Yeah, so it is beyond all those things.
So nice, Even the posture itself, it talks about our nature, whether we are really humble or whether we bend backwards for people, having got kindness, compassion. These things are really wonderful, And I feel the human being, as a human being, he will become a perfect kind of, the attitude that he develops, the nature that he develops, it all changes.
Yes, it is a blossoming.
That's what you said.
Blossoming. Because this life has been given, we have between life and death, we have this lifespan, right? How we live life is most important.
Correct.
So the celebration of life is most important. Just because I say that I am a spiritual person, I am not saying that, oh, I will move away from people, I don't like to party, I don't like to do this, So that is not spirituality. Absolutely, you're being in the world, you're being beautifully amidst the chaos, you're totally at peace with yourself. So you can be in a party, you can dance wholeheartedly, you can sit and have a beautiful cup of tea with your friends and all that. Spirituality or yoga is not telling you to stop all that. What it tells you is don't get too immersed and too carried away with only those things. Celebrate, beautifully celebrate, but always remember that you are there in this abundant life and have a purpose.
And some of the yoga professionals also practice something called as Hatha Yoga. So what is a Hatha Yoga all about? Like I have seen people eating blades and things like that. Is it all Hatha Yoga? Or staying in the water for hours together or something like that? I don't know. That is my perception. You will have to enlighten me on this.
See, there are so many ways where in Patanjali Yoga Sutras or different yogic texts, they write different techniques for training the mind. mental training. Even you find warriors, if you go to the Puranic stories or you find this thing, they have some rigorous training to train the mind.
Okay.
I have read that the Scottish warriors in the peak winter they have a dip in the ice bath and come. It is mainly to train their mind.
Yeah.
So and the training of the mind can be Rajasic, Sattvic or Tamasic.
Okay.
Okay, that's what my teacher taught me.
This kind of is something Rajasic.
Yeah. So this is like rigorous training that you want to be under ice cold water and sit and meditate there.
So any challenges you can face without
it is about training, but it need not be for all personalities.
Right.
It is not for all personalities. Maybe that person has chosen that way.
Yeah.
But I need not have that as a reference. What is Hatha? That is very important. People think it's Hatha is because in South Indian languages, Hatha, don't be stubborn, don't be stuck. All the different translations comes adamant and different words. Hatha madbeda, something I think comes in Kannada, right? They think that is Hatha. But Hatha is a very deep yogic concept which is totally different from this. Ha and Ta is the concept of sun and the moon integration. Ha and Ta. So all about so you will find in yin and yang in traditional Chinese medicine. Yin yang. There's the cooling factor and the solar energy and the lunar energy.
And even the male and the female.
Yes, the feminine and the female
energy.
Shakti concept and Purusha concept. All of them, it's an integration of the feminine, the lunar energy and the solar energy. The feminine
so solar is always considered to be masculine and
yes, masculine and dynamism.
Okay.
We need that. It's important to have a beautiful mix of the feminine energy and the masculine energy. Feminine is more nurturing, caring. Right? Anything, mother automatically has nurturing qualities. That is, and emotional nature also comes in the feminine. So women should not feel bad that I'm so emotional, Prabha. Don't.
That is an intrinsic quality.
It's a beautiful feminine nature.
Yeah.
And you find some men also having that beautiful feminine nature with them, right? So they have that caring. Some of them have that caring ability. And the masculine.
Some of them are very
if you want to be
and
a
a royal walk and a kingly attitude.
It also depends on your profession also. If you are a warrior, if you are a soldier, you need that masculine energy, right? The dynamism, that outwardness. The solar is all about shining bright, right? Can be
more
radiant
and brilliant,
inspirational, motivational. Every movement is like a kinetic energy.
Okay.
It needs that movement. Okay. So that is solar energy. And if I in a cold climate, I need little bit of masculine energy to come up and go to class or go and cook or whatever, right? Yes. But the solar and lunar energy is required for restorativeness, to bring deep rest to the system, to bring deep introspections. Solar energy is interpersonal. Lunar energy is intrapersonal, if I want to say in psychology language. So it is needed as an integration. Hatha yoga.
Okay.
Yeah, so but people have misunderstood Hatha yoga in a different way. They say
like how I misunderstood. I don't
but
know.
It is many ways. Like Vishwamitra stood on one leg and did penances. They think that let me do. Okay, maybe. But if you are doing it, are you doing it to connect to yourself? Or are you doing it for something?
Are you at peace while doing this?
So you do. You want to go and be in the coldest part of the earth and sit there and you want to meditate. But for what are you doing? What is the purpose? Everywhere we need to understand that is ego coming there or the purpose to connect with myself.
Always it is purpose which is higher than the ego. Just to show off or just to display ourselves. We need
so everywhere. So any training we do, whatever training we are doing, whatever type of training we are doing, everywhere is coming back home.
Okay.
Each time remember that. We're coming home. So it's like, it's a very, again comes in the Upanishadic stories. Again, I will not go into stories, because although I fond of stories. So, and I point this. This finger is going outward. It is more towards my transaction with the world. But with that transaction, I can go with blaming, I can go with...
And so many fingers are inwards. You go inwards.
So which is more important? Inwards is important, but my interaction with the world is also important. But when I go inwards, my interaction with the world will change.
Correct.
That is what yoga will bring about change.
And Prabha, there are different approaches. Like usually for any ailment, we immediately go for a physiotherapy. Okay, that is a traditional method. Again, when it comes to yoga therapy, it is all about holistic, isn't it? So how does this yoga therapy be more effective than a physiotherapist? If you can bring out those differences, people may.
Sure. I'm not here to criticize physiotherapy because it's a very important healing method. But I can say the difference between that.
Okay.
In many cases, physiotherapy is very important. So I will not negate that healing method at all. For example, a person who had a disc herniation with a nerve impingement, severe nerve pain happens. They are undergoing the allopathic medication. The doctor will say, let's do physiotherapy, that IFT and the specific cupping methods and all that. Yes, it brings about that immediate relief of pain. Okay, so that is there. But when it comes to the physiotherapy exercises, I would say yoga therapy excels in that. Because where the participants are guided with breath body awareness.
Okay.
So it is not robotic. Move your leg up and down, up and down, up and down, hug your knee, then do this, do twisting there, do that there. The physiotherapy, sometimes the healer actually holds the patient's leg and does it.
Okay.
But a yoga therapy teacher, a therapeutic yoga teacher will never hold a person. The therapeutic yoga teacher will give instruction that raise the leg 20 degree, slowly put it down, give a relaxation, again being observant of the breath. So there is incorporation of breath, like I told you in the beginning itself, pranayama is incorporated, yoga nidra is incorporated, specific relaxation technique is important, is incorporated. Everything is as a package comes in yoga therapy. Okay. Which I have not seen in physiotherapy, but yes, physiotherapy, like I told you, the specific things really helps. A person having a hernia problem or a diastasis recti where there is a lot of core problems, yes, physiotherapy does help. They do the specific treatment and the chiastium and the myofascial release. I am very fond of that. It's a really good one. It is compared to an Ayurvedic abhyangam where they remove the knots. The myofascial release, which is in physiotherapy, yes, it removes the knots in your muscles, and then you come and do yoga therapy, works wonders. So I would not say that it is bad. I would say that
some aspects
of it, they do not combine the breath, they do not combine deep healing. It is very externally. They come and give sessions externally, and then they go expecting the participants to continue it. And participants need constant motivation. One day I do, another day I might be in pain, but I can't say do that same. So yoga therapy is customized. You are having a back pain, another person is having back pain, is customized. You might be having back pain due to other reasons. The other person is having back pain to different reasons. So the yoga therapist will address, although in a class with 2 people, but she will give instructions differently. She will give specifications differently. She will give affirmations.
Very customized.
Very customized.
Yeah. And actually, there is a powerful connection, as you kept on saying. There is a powerful connection between body and mind, and also intellect, maybe. So, how, for the issues like stress, nowadays people are undergoing a lot of stress with this rat race and other things. For stress and anxiety, what is the therapy in yoga?
See, why a person is anxious is what we need to understand. A person is anxious, maybe if I consider a parent being anxious that, oh my God, my daughter is going to another country, or what will happen to her. So there's anxious of uncertainty, anxiousness of how I'm going to do this presentation, will my boss like it, anxiousness of will I get a good salary raise this time, anxiousness on whether I'm going to do this and that and what will happen. It's all about what is the fruit of my action. And what does yoga teach? Is completely detach yourself from the fruits of your action. Do your action effortlessly, joyfully, and in complete sync and do not concentrate on the force of action. The moment we are in touch with that, we are not caught up in the fruit of the action. And the anxiety is all about I want to be in control. I want to be in control what happens to my child or my husband or my family members. I want to make sure that I take care of them, why I do this. And the moment we think that we are not under control, anxiety crops up. And there is a lot of agitations, palpitations, people feel palpitating so much.
Let's do whatever we have to do. But
leave everything to the divine.
Leave everything to the
Surrender is not easy. Surrender is not easy. And yoga teaches us. Yoga teaches us Ishvara Pranidhana, self-surrender. Surrendering to the divine's will. The moment we do that, anxiety goes. Anxiety brings about BP. It's a direct relation. It happens for type A personalities. BP, high BP goes for type A personalities. Personalities who really want to achieve in life. They are workaholics. They want to achieve. They are achievers. Male, the solar energy is so active. They forgot the lunar energy. Yoga for them. They need to improve on their lunar energy. Lot of restorative techniques, lot of breathing techniques.
Bring in lot of cooling and
yes.
So not all that.
So it's not like I tell you one pose will help in anxiety. It's not about one pose which brings. It's again and again being connected for what I'm anxious about. Again coming back to self-introspection, self-reflection, and then doing my postures, beautiful expansion of the chest. For them, the anxiety people, it works very well with chest expansion practices. It works beautiful on Surya Namaskaras. Slow Surya Namaskaras. There's no fastness. Anxiety people want to do fast. It's very difficult for them to do it slowly. That's why I said
customize. And nowadays the anxiety is they have to reduce themselves, they have to look thin, they have to so many. Even in the younger generation, I can see a lot of anxiety.
There is when I'm interacting with youngsters, it's all about being with a sense of belonging. That they want to have a sense of belonging.
Yes.
If my friends are like this, I need to feel that sense of belonging. So I need to do all that. So sometimes the girls and the boy, I have interacted with a lot of girls. Maybe they would have.
I think they would feel jealous if the other girl has a boyfriend and she doesn't have. This kind of anxiety is also cropping in.
Because again, everywhere it comes to revolves to the point of sense of inadequacy, of sense of lackness. And again, for such people, I will always advise counseling, very important, because that will help you in touch with your inadequacy or lackness. When we are in touch with that external, what other person does not matter. Maybe my personality, I'm a kapha oriented person, so I might be a little bulkier, might be a little bit more healthier. Whatever exercises I'm doing, I might not be able to see. Because my constitution is like that. So Prakriti is like that. So being accepting, yoga teaches us accepting and approving of ourselves. That is a very, very deep concept. We accept ourselves and anxiety will not come. So most of the time, whether it is younger generation would not like to be targeted always. I have seen my daughter and niece telling that, why are you targeting us? Because I have seen my age women also going through different sense of inadequacy. Prabha, I am like a doormat. Prabha, I am not worthy enough. Why am I like this? I am not at all good enough for anything in this world. I am not at all skillful. Everywhere, that also brings anxiety. Maybe I'm not a good mother. My child is doing this. It brings so much of anxiety within them. It brings about a lot of skin diseases, a lot of
guilt. Maybe my parenting was wrong. That's why my son is doing this today. So that kind of
that's why I would recommend yoga therapists to have one-on-one counseling, one-on-one sessions and discuss their problems. Don't only say, come do these poses. It is not a prescription. Yoga is not a prescription.
Not a prescription.
Remember that always. It is not a prescription saying that, okay, do this, and that's it. And then you don't connect with the participant. You don't know what they are going through. And when they are going through, that's why satsangs also comes under yoga. Being in touch with like-minded people, attending the sessions, so that something will come up. Like what we both are having is a satsang, a sangha, a meeting, where we are talking, elevating kind of things.
Thoughts.
Correct. That the elevated kind of thoughts will really inspire both of us. And whoever are listening also for them is a satsanga.
Right.
Where they also feel elevated, they are inspired, motivated. So what we are, this is satsanga. Do not think I have to only go to Bhagavad Gita satsangas and maybe it is not interesting for me right now. I know I might not be in that area.
Frame of mind
to come there.
Yeah.
But do not again degrade yourself saying that oh I want it all good enough. It's okay. Maybe some beautiful book, something which you might have caught attention. That is a satsanga.
Right. That's so wonderful. You have understood the whole life processes and also the complete world so well. I think yoga makes us understand all these intricacies, I can say. So you have developed a huge Yogabharati of your own. That's your baby. How? What are the activities that you undertake there? And can you tell more about your institution?
See, Yogabharati US chapter started in 2001. And that was started by a passionate group of Indians who wanted to spread the Indian culture and heritage for the Indians there in US. In India, we started this Yogabharati by Raghuramji, who was a founder. He's my guru and teacher, mentor. And he decided, let's start it in Bangalore. 2013 we started here. So the main purpose again, yoga in every household. Make everyone understand the holistic aspect of yoga. Because even at that 20 years ago or 15 years ago, yoga again became only the superficial level of it's all about postures. And he was very particular that let us give a holistic understanding to people so that it is a transformational experience for them. So yoga in every household. So even if one person in the family is inspired and following the yogic path, it is a transformative experience for everyone. It's not necessary that the whole family does yoga. Maybe for some family it will happen. So the main vision of Yogabharati is nourishment. That is what we have. The vision motto is Sahana Bhuna. That is, may we nourish all. So how does nourishment happen? Nourishment happens through satsangas, through sessions, through deep understanding, sharing our knowledge, sharing the deeper aspects of yoga, teaching yoga in the right, proper way and not meant for commercial basis. So we train teachers to be yoga trainers, where we ensure that there is yogic philosophy concept and also the major postures and pranayama and meditative and teaching methodologies. So there is a mix of all in our teacher training courses. So the person who finishes that 200 or 300 hours of course comes out as a complete blossomed flowered person. Because only when they are transformed by the power of yoga, they can influence others. They are not practicing yoga. You cannot go and tell others, come do pranayama every day and teacher only does not practice. Come do this thing every day. Meditation is very good. Teacher only does not practice. So it's important. So Yogabharati ensures that in our Yogabharati Shikshana Vibhaga Academic Institute, we train people to become yoga trainers. And once you become a yoga trainer, we also upgrade the skills of yoga trainers. We do a lot of upgradation courses. We have study circle sessions where we invite lectures and sessions from experts in the yogic side to give sessions. We have beautiful yogic classes. Yoga classes also again customized to the need. Right? A person with therapeutic needs a therapeutic yoga. A person who wants for general fitness, general yoga. A person whose children who are autistic in nature, who are in the neurodivergent community, they need a different style of yoga. Children, who are looking for calming themselves and all those things, there's a different style of yoga. So we run classes for different needs. So we have teachers, we have trained the teachers in such a way that we have varied types of classes.
As you said, customized.
And we have study group classes on Bhagavad Gita and chanting and Bhagavatam and Sanatana Dharma. That also goes because, like I told you, it is a package.
And you are a very good storyteller, and I have listened to your stories about your mythological stories and all that, and what kind of happiness you get by narrating stories to the children.
So it is, the story has always been fascinating for me since childhood. And when my older daughter, when she was very young, many years ago, I think she was in the third or fourth year or something, I would say that I used to consciously ensure that she learns the stories from our Purana and the Itihasas. Although Cinderella and the Peter Pan and all those things happens, somewhere I felt a deep connection to this. And that is where I had gone to Dhatu, Ankama Huskare's Dhatu organization, where she used to conduct a lot of Puranic stories. And when I used to attend, I thought that, why don't I also try story sessions? And it was just a trial where I just called a couple of kids in our community and just gave a session. I was totally thrilled myself because narrating story is something which I found that it is a calling for me.
Okay. It's innate in you.
I never thought that I can narrate stories. I said, okay, I was totally an introvert. And coming out, an extroverted nature needs a storyteller. It needs an extroverted nature. You need to be totally joyful and being excited and all that. Children like that.
Children like that.
They need that vibrant
You also have to be a part of that story when you're narrating.
Their eyes and body language needs to show that. And I found a beautiful way to narrate that. And I found that in the beginning I was narrating stories in different styles of books and Arabic stories, this story. And slowly I found that whenever I used to take the Puranic or the Itihasa stories, children used to shower with beautiful questions. And that is where I understood that why don't I ground them with our stories? And that is where the importance of telling our own Puranic stories kind of motivated me. And then onwards the journey started. So every year I ensure that the Navaratri is filled with the stories from the Puranas and the Itihasas. So where the children are having the moral values and where they are having the freedom to ask questions.
Right.
They ask Auntie why Bhishma.
They have to encourage.
They need to know it.
Yes.
Auntie, why did Krishna do this? Why Karna did this? They need to have the freedom to ask.
Correct.
And when they ask, it brings churning to them. Yes. My purpose is to just churn their mind, so that when they grow up, they're able to take the right decisions.
Correct.
Thinking, getting inspired
Whatever
by
in epics teach that only.
Absolutely.
And every story there is a moral, there is something to learn, there is something to even.
So whether it is a story of the Asuras and the Devas and the
Manthana,
Ramayana story, beautiful establishment of dharmic perspective of the Rama or the Krishna stories or Harishchandra stories. Everything has very deep meanings. It is just not, we are not again going superficial. We are not saying he did this, he did that.
And when it shows some mind to the student, naturally we also think, and we try to find what actually, why this person.
It's important, I would say that not only children attend the story sessions, it's important that adults also attend. Because like I told you, when I narrate the story, it's not like, okay, there were once two brothers, Vali and Sugriva, Vali was like this, Sugriva was like this, then this happened, that happened, Rama did this thing, and that's the story.
It's very informative. It ends there.
And then you still wonder why Rama did that. It was not fair of Rama to do that. I see adults speaking like that. But deeper aspect, if you go, it's very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. And that is where I try to bring that understanding. So like I told you, when I narrate stories, I am myself learning.
Okay.
Because children come up with beautiful questions. Okay. And when they come up, the flow comes very beautifully. It is not me, my knowledge who is speaking. It's a divine that speaks through me. So it beautifully flows. And I see that the answers which I say, I am actually surprised with the answers which sometimes I give, because I know that it is not me who is speaking. They bring up with, 6-year-old comes up with such fantastic questions, and because they are unfiltered, they don't bother. Will auntie say, is it okay to say? Because they feel so comfortable with me, they are not bothered, and they just ask, auntie, I don't agree with you, auntie. That's it clearly. That is what I want. So we have beautiful discussions.
That's so beautiful, Prabha. And my last question to you is, I want you to advise or whatever you feel like telling the people who want to pursue yoga therapist as their career. For them, what would you like to say? And also the general audience, as a yoga therapist and as being deep into yoga, what are your briefly around 3 or 4 messages that you want to give?
See, to become a yoga therapist, it's a journey.
Yes.
So, because always remember that the journey will take its time. There is no fast through here. And I would advise all the yoga trainers, if you have to be first a yoga trainer to go into a therapeutic aspect. So yoga training is a foundation course in yoga, where you understand the basic concepts of yoga. Like yoga is a huge science. It's a huge science, and we just knowing only a drop. So it's like starts from kindergarten. I would say I am in the first grade because it's a vast science. So I would advise all the yoga trainers that if you think that your purpose is to make an impact on others, be an instrument of the God's divine's work to heal others, then move into therapeutic aspects. See how you can learn from a course, but always remember that just because you do the course, you cannot be a healer. You need experience. I have seen that people who are doing MSc in yoga therapy, they come out and then a person comes to them with a disc herniation, they are unaware what to do. Experience is not there. They have learned only from the books. That is where being guided by a senior teacher, it helps a lot. Be shadowing the teacher, learn, experience, observe, then start taking on. So that is the advice I will tell to all the yoga trainers who are doing the yoga therapy courses. Remember that experience makes a difference. I remember how I used to teach 20 years ago and what is the quality of teaching right now. The same practice, it's different. The style of my teaching is different through experience in practice. And people now who want to pursue the path of yoga, who feel attracted, now the new year is coming and maybe a calling is coming to them that I want to follow this path of yoga. Remember that if you are following the path of yoga, remember again it is coming back home, like I keep telling you. And always remembering that when I come back home, when the churning happens within, the churning happens, it brings about lot of different things outward. And yoga will help you to harness it, will help you to release those unwanted thought patterns, will help you to heal yourself. So you are joining yoga to heal yourself. Because they say, no, Louise Hay, I'm a very big fan of Louise Hay. She writes very beautifully, say that we have love to heal the entire planet. But for today, why don't I love myself wholeheartedly? So yoga is a journey to love yourself. Absolutely. To be connecting, to find that feel that divine love within. We are only projecting outwards. The moment we are focusing on us, we are filled, we are whole. And yoga is about feeling the wholeness within. That is what I would recommend all of you to feel.
And also, Prabha, in our next session, let's address different issues. Like people must be having, or they must be curious to know how to join your community or to become a yoga therapist, or they must have issues regarding therapeutic advice also. So we'll take up their questions in our next session, and it was very nice talking to you and interacting with you, knowing so much. I didn't know so many things, like even a small poster also brings, it shows our nature or our kind of, it was such a nice interaction, deep delving, and the discussion that we had, it really illuminated me to some extent. And I think our audience also will love this. Thank you so much for sharing your insights, your experiences, your journey. It is truly inspiring to the world, I guess.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. It gave an opportunity for me to give a holistic understanding of yoga. That is the main purpose of Yogabharati itself. But this interaction was itself nourishing both of us.
Correct.
So that is what is the beauty of satsanga.
Yeah.
And what we did was satsanga.
Correct.